Crimson. Last second adjustments. Look at the intensity. Critical stroke 7 combination, 6 seat, 5.
Time to go up that one.
So many good crews out of Harvard over the years. Stanford touching it up. A little bit of crosswind from the starboard side.
Gentlemen, I'm going to a countdown start. I will count from 5 to 1 and give the starting command. Hands will not be recognized. Coxswains, find your point. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attention. Go.
We have a start. All crews out evenly. It seemed like the University of California leaned on it in not exactly an urgent fashion, but that certainly doesn't seem to have affected the speed. But in the early stages, it's the crew in lane 1, the University of Washington, that have definitely leapt out to an advantage, as they certainly seem to have 2 men by the time, 2 seats by the time they've gone through the 150. And on the far side, it's Princeton that have also got a blinder. So at the moment, as we go through the 250-meter mark, it's the University of Washington, followed by Cal and Princeton, very level pegging in lanes 2 and 6. Then for the final placings, Northeastern, Stanford and Yale and Harvard are very even Steven. If anyone has an advantage out of those, it looks like it's Stanford in lane 5. As they come down to the second half of the first 500, the Cal are fighting back and are pegging back the University of Washington, but the University of Washington maintain their lead of 1 seat. So it's a canvas to the University of Washington as they go through the 500, with Cal starting to move. Closely followed by Stanford in lane 5. On the far side, Princeton, and then it's Harvard just over Yale as we go through the 500-meter mark.
Checking our lane assignments at 500 meters, it is the University of Washington. They had the best time yesterday in their heat. They also were a heat winner. And lane number 2, another heat winner, University of California, and they had the second best time in this group of 7 crews. Harvard is coming out of lane number 3. Out there in lane 4 is Yale. Stanford is in lane 5. In lane 6, occupied by Northeastern and Princeton. Out in lane number 7, our call at 500 meters, it was Washington on the lead, being closely followed by California. Then looking at Stanford, Princeton, Harvard, and it was Yale and Northeastern in that order at 500 meters.
Leaders, Washington followed by California, based on yesterday's results as a fairly weak predictor. A lot of crews play cagey in their heats. It would predict that it would be Washington and California, and that's exactly what we have going on here. They've got about a half a length on the rest of the field. California has now taken the lead. As you just saw there on that camera shot, they pulled about 2 seats up on Washington. Washington has always been known to have a jackrabbit start, and usually is able to capitalize on that. This is the first time in 2 years that California has caught up to them and passed them this early in the race, anywhere in a race.
They are through the first 1,000 meters. Inside 1,000 to go. And it is Cal and Washington in lanes 2 and 3 on the hunt, looking all the way outside at Princeton and then back inside. Going to look at the Yale, Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Stanford, and Northeastern.
Washington has responded to Cal's move, took a big 10 there at about 750 meters, has now pulled even again, and is about 2 seats maybe at this point. A very tight boat race as we predicted in the exciting finish of the Copley Cup. The premier event at this regatta, the fastest race you're going to see today. There's the #1 bow marker for Washington. The Huskies looking very strong. California in the background. It's going to be between these two crews. No one else is in the picture here. Off in the distance, that looks like Princeton.
As they're coming up on 500 meters, we have a neck-and-neck race between lanes 1 and 2. We're looking at Washington and California. It is Washington in lane #1, Cal in lane 2, but they cannot ignore all the way on the outside. That is Princeton. And also in the middle of our field, Harvard has moved up a little bit, and they are being challenged by Stanford, Yale, and Northeastern. No one is going away on this one. Along the shoreline, it is Washington and California. Outside, it is Princeton.
Washington to 500 meters put on a very strong move. We're now moving into full sprint mode. Washington looks like they want this race badly. They've got about 4 seats over California. California and Princeton are neck and neck. Harvard now making a move out of lane 3. Stanford, Northeastern. We're less than 250 to go. 20 strokes. Who's going to want it most? It's Washington with half a length now on the field. And it looks like Princeton has taken over that second spot. Harvard now moving up and through California.
Coming up on 100 meters to go on the near shoreline, it is Washington all the way outside to Princeton. And coming up on the shoreline side, it's California fighting off Harvard. Then to the outside, Stanford, Yale, and Northeastern. Looking back to the front of the pack, it is Washington having fought off a brilliant move by Cal in the middle of our race, and it appears to be that Washington will be our winner. And then looking to the far outside, Princeton hanging in there, but we'll wait for the official result.
What a barn burner of a race we've been treated to here. Washington, with about 300 to go, really put the pedal to the metal and managed to pull it out. This crew from Washington has lost 3 of their oarsmen to the Canadian Olympic team this year. Apparently there's a very strong amount of depth in that program to continue on the path they've been on, undefeated now since the beginning of last season.
An outstanding race and an outstanding opportunity for you to get a full color, full on up close view of that particular race by getting one of our DVDs. It'll be available about an hour after the race is finished, and that would be at about 10:15, 10:20, somewhere in there. You can get your own DVD of this particular race and the exciting finish. Looking forward to the women's collegiate lightweight grand finale. It'll be Stanford University in lane #1. Looking out in lane 2 is Wisconsin. Lane 3 is occupied by the University of California, and out in lane 4 in our 4-boat race, it'll be Loyola Marymount University. We're looking forward to the women's collegiate lightweight grand finale.
Well, we have a moment here. Let's get the official results from the women's Jessiah